Greetings everyone! Future feature film director, the Rookie Critic here, coming to you from the Fandom Collective YouTube channel. And I've been trying to rack my brain around some things that we can all do while we're all in quarantine and have less hours and whatnot. Maybe a project that we can all do together. What I came up with is a variation of a game we did in my mythology class back in high school, and I'm calling it Make a Blank. We would do this game weekly, changing it up each time, but we'd be starting with Make a Hero. Now how that works is you pick a name, but for the hero you get to pick two names. You get to pick their real name and then their superhero name. Pick some powers for them, or they don't have to have powers, it's not required, but if you want to give them powers you can. Or you can list their skills, then you can list some weaknesses, what's their motivation, do they have any villains, what's their favorite food, what's their pastime, what do they like to do. Just fill out some detailed stuff like that if you want. And then you can go ahead and draw your hero and color it and see how you do. You don't have to spend forever on it. It doesn't have to be perfect of an artiste. I am by no means an artist, but you just draw as best you can. And the point is to not take too much time with it. So draw as quick as you can with it. And if you want to take your time, go ahead. But I just recommend doing it a little quicker, not trying to get it so detailed. But then so once you have your details, you have your drawing, then you can make like a short story. And I'd say to make it between 1 to 4 pages long. Any longer than 4 and it's kind of like, okay, you're pretty much making a huge story here. So, try to keep it a little light, keep it low, because after you're done with all that, you're going to record it and tell us about your creature and whatnot as if you were giving a presentation to the class, basically. And I'll be showing you guys an example by starting with my Make a Hero project so that you guys have an idea on how it actually works. So basically every week we change it from make a blank to, instead of make a hero, make a cartoon, or make an alien, make a monster or something. And we'll just, change the theme once a week for a little while and see what kind of stuff we'll come up with. It's a nice little creative way to do it, and where you're not, it's not straining your brain with it. We don't want it. I know that everybody's busy with their own things that they're still doing, so you don't want to take too long on this. Pretend it's like a homework assignment and it's easier to get it done a little faster and whatnot, but take as much time as you need. I spent around 2.5 hours total coming up with all the details, drawing it, coloring it, and doing the story. And then a little, maybe add on another half an hour to record all the stuff. But that about wraps it up for all the details on how this thing works. I plan on premiering your guys' submissions when you guys send them in on, the same day, so we can just watch them and watch your guys' art show, basically. Watch your guys' creative idea as if we're all, like the students, watching an assignment together. Hello there everyone, I'm the Rookie Critic, and I do have a YouTube channel where I talk about movies and do movie reviews, and I'm really trying to learn to be a film director someday, so there's lots of skits there. That's what you can find on my channel. The link should be in the description below since I submitted this video, and I'm going to tell you guys my Make a Hero story. So, he is a guy named Tim. Yes, his regular name is Tim. His superhero name is Dead End. Or if you say it kind of fast or you want to give it some kind of one-worded thing, it could be Dead Ende. Dead Ende. His only power is invincibility. However, his weakness is also that he can feel all the same pain that he would anyway. So if he got stabbed in the heart or something, he may not be dead, but he can feel it. If he gets clunked in the head super duper hard with baseball bats repeatedly or something, that should have killed him. Now he'll survive, but he will feel all the pain for all of that. So, call it a superpower, but it could be a curse to some people. I decided to not give him too many impressive skills, so one of his skills is customer service, he's a good writer, and he's also a good cook. The motivation is technically a little summary about him, so let me tell you about this guy. Tim is a 30-year-old guy. He wakes up one day, and he should have been killed, but he lived. He realizes that he had this power, and he realized that people are risking their lives every day, and so he decides that he can try to minimize some of their deaths by him taking these risks instead, because he's not going to die from it. And then when people learn about him, they're trying to use him for their own benefits. The government and other governments are trying to get him and use his abilities to their advantage. His own father died as a fireman back in the day, saving some people, and so he's trying to approach things as a way to, if he can prevent some guy like his dad from having to sacrifice himself, then he's doing something good. I was not going to give my guy any actual villains, but I decided, he's going to have some government stuff as his first obstacles and whatnot, but later on, after all that stuff's all done, he will get some villains, and they are called Will. And Will is a puppeteer. Now, puppeteers can basically control your body. They can control you, and you can't move. They control your actions and what you're doing. So, you can be invincible, but this guy can control your movements. And then his other villain is Shadow. And I was going to give her some kind of OP-ish type of powers, like power to be invisible or something, but I decided, no, instead of making it invisible, like making her invisible, she can turn other people blind. But she has to be focusing on it. She can't just, make you blind just randomly and that's it. She has to kind of be thinking about it to keep you blind. And that may not seem like a huge power, but if she's got some other fighting skills to back it up, it can come quite in handy in a fight. Some of Tim's favorite food is pizza, chicken, apples, and Gatorade. No explanation for that. That's just what it is. His pastime isn't all that interesting. He's a normal dude. He likes to write stories, go on hikes sometimes, clean, keep the house looking good. Not that interesting. Nothing too much there. Alright, and now I'm going to dive into the story. So, listen up, children, and take a seat. In the year of 2019, a 30-year-old man named Tim realized that he was invincible. He first discovered he had this ability when he was polishing the floors of his house, slipped and clunked his head on the fireplace. The doctor said that should have killed him. He thought he was just lucky though, but just a week later, he got bit by a few Black Widow spiders, which, based on statistics, the odds of being bitten by a Black Widow were less than 3%, as was his survival percentage. Not long after that, he approached a gang and called a bunch of them a bunch of pussy princesses, which resulted in him being thrashed around like a punching bag for all, and finally being dunked on into the dumpster head first. Once again, the injuries should have killed him, but he recovered. To several people, this kind of discovery might be exciting, to learn that out of nowhere, you cannot be killed. You're invincible. Yet, for Tim, this was a nightmare. He was terrified, having lived through essentially death on more than one occasion. What had him even more terrified was that he could feel the pain of it the entire time. But regardless of how he felt, he thought it would make sense to just put these abilities to use. His father died over 10 years ago, saving people from a fire. So many men and women risk their lives every day. If Tim could help prevent others from making the sacrifice, maybe he could be doing some good, rather than just simply work his cooking job and writing job on the side. So, he first became a volunteer fireman, eager to save not only the lives of the citizens caught in a fire, but prevent other firemen from being engulfed in the flames that killed his father. This was only the beginning. Over the next year, he would try going wherever he can to help save some lives, of which everyone was very thankful for. He became a hero to the people. He loved seeing people's reactions after doing a good deed. However, at the same time, he felt so scared and torn up from the head to toe, inside out. At heart, he's just a normal guy and doing all these deeds and no one really pays him for it. He can just barely afford to live in his house. But it's all worth it to save some lives. That is, until the US government and multiple foreign governments sought him out to use his abilities for their benefit. But we're not going to dive into that story today. We're going to skip right over that and go to where he meets his first villains. By this point, Tim has gone through hell, countless types of pain that would have killed the average man. He's recognizable by all and has been given the name Dead End by the citizens of his town. Since working with the government a while back, he has learned some new fighting skills that have come in handy and helped him to prevent the feeling of pain when it could have been avoided. Ever since being back home, he just tries to lend a hand here and there and step in if he sees any trouble. But unknown to him, a man named Will has been keeping an eye on him for quite a while now. Will and his girlfriend, Shadow, have abilities of their own. Tim is just leaving a McDonald's, finishing off his last few french fries and soda on the go. He had his mind set on that new cooking recipe that his sister sent him recently, when all of a sudden, everything just goes dark from Tim's perspective. He stops and tries to blink, tries to wave his hand in front of his face to see them, but he can't. Nothing. He can see nothing, as if he was just all of a sudden blind. Shadow says, "Hi, Tim." Tim is starting to freak out at losing his eyesight. He says, "Hi there. I know this may sound weird, but I can't seem to see anything. Can you help me call a doctor?" Shadow says, "Oh yeah, sure thing." She just slowly strolls over to him and punches him in the gut as hard as she possibly can. It knocks the wind out of him quickly. He drops his fries and soda and collapses to his knees, clenching his chest, gasping for air. She examines him for a few moments before kneeing him in the cheek, knocking him to the ground. His mind is racing as he tries to figure out what the hell is happening now. He can't see, and someone is beating the crap out of him. Shadow's looking kind of bored, rolls her eyes and looks at her boyfriend. Shadow says, "This was way easier than I thought. You sure we want to use this guy? He's kind of weak. Just one But she spoke just a little too soon. Well, actually, her speaking at all made it a lot easier for Tim to hear where she is and do a nice sweep of her legs with his feet. He slowly gets up and is on the alert, listening for the enemy that he can't see. Will says, "I think you underestimated him, sweetie." Shadow says, "Shut up! He got lucky." Shadow then punches Tim in the face, which is exactly what he was hoping for, because now he can grab her arm, then grabs her throat, and then starts punching her in the face repeatedly. Now all of a sudden, he can see again, just as Shadow is quite woozy at this point. Will says, "Enough of this." Will points his hand out, and all of a sudden, Tim is unable to move a muscle. He can't even say a word. His arms just drop to his side. Will wiggles his finger a little bit, and that forces Tim to walk toward him, stiff as a board, unable to control his own body. And that's where we're going to leave things for today. I don't really plan on picking up with the story, guys, so this is just all that I plan to write for it. There's going to be another challenge next week that's going to be after this, so if you guys have a Make Your Hero thing you guys want to do, just spend a couple hours on it if you want, or you could spend as long as you want on it, really, but within a week it would be cool to get it done. And if you guys want to submit them to the Fandom Collective, go ahead. The email is in the description below, and we'll be premiering any submissions that you guys do. If you do your own Make a Hero story, we'd love to show them and promote them out and spread them around, have a little fun, have some stories, and see some creativity. So without further ado, have a great rest of your day.